nationalists, whatever, believe that the Falklands are Argentinian, they don't like the British, and they're in the hotel.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Top Gear controversies.
NASCAR sucks, country and western is rubbish. Guess what? You're in a hick town, man.
We're gonna die now. That's it.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at the Top Gear moments that divided viewers. Let us know in the comments what your favourite Top Gear road trip is. Number 10. Chris Evans. Following the departures of Clarkson, Hammond and May, experienced presenter and longtime car fanatic Chris Evans was brought on board to replace them. Unfortunately, Chris Evans on Top Gear went down like a lead balloon.
We're told that Chris Evans' feelings that he didn't feel the programme quite worked.
People didn't think he was funny, and they were still smarting from the loss of the other three.
So the BBC will stick with this and will look for a replacement at some point.
Evans left the show after just one series, thankfully, after a supposed behind-the-scenes ultimatum was given to the BBC by Matt LeBlanc. If Chris Evans didn't leave, LeBlanc would, which he incidentally did anyway, after just one more series.
Mr. LeBlanc?
LeBlanc. But it's fine.
The presenters are now Chris Harris, Freddie Flintoff and Paddy McGuinness, though it's still not as popular. Number 9. The Germans. Many times over the years did the presenters turn their sights on Germany, repeatedly making jokes about Hitler and the Nazis. Particularly, they were complaining about BMW bringing out a new Mini concept.
We should do a car that's quintessentially German.
Well, just replace the spoons with little sausages in
No.
Not only did Clarkson proceed to briefly do the Nazi salute live on air, Hammond suggested adding sausages to the cars, as well as a sat-nav with one particular destination.
A sat-nav that only goes to Poland.
Germany itself was not happy about it, nor were many of the show's viewers, with the German government even getting involved at one point.
I'm fan belts that will last for 1,000 years!
No, I don't think so.
The BBC, however, stood by its presenters that time. Number 8. Dead Cow. During the 2007 US special, the lads were at one point tasked with rustling up some roadkill for their dinner.
No matter though, because further down the road I came across a fresh and tasty possum.
Their options began with a dead possum and ended when Clarkson somehow produced a dead cow, which he'd strapped to the roof of his Camaro. Some viewers were outraged by the dead cow stunt, particularly how Clarkson reversed his car to make the cow fall off.
Main course.
Yeah. I'm thinking how long I've been in the sun putting that tent up.
It was lambasted as animal cruelty, and years later, the Grand Tour got in hot water for a similar issue. Though this time, the cow was alive. Critics still weren't happy about it, though.
I'm not hungry. What? I'm not hungry. It stinks, Jeremy.
Number 7. Alabama. Another highlight from that same contentious US special. Right after the dead cow stunt, the gang entered Alabama.
OK, it says here we must not be shot or arrested as we drive across the proud state of Alabama, but that we will get bonus points if we can get one of the others shot or arrested.
This was on their drive from Miami to New Orleans, taking them through the Deep South. As a prank, they all painted various things on each other's cars to incense Alabama residents as they drove through, but didn't think through just how dangerous this could be. They promoted the Democrats, criticised NASCAR, and added LGBT-positive slogans.
NASCAR sucks, country and western is rubbish. Guess what? You're in a hick town, man.
We're gonna die now. That's it.
The result was that they were run out of state, quickly cleaning their cars after worrying they could actually get shot by angry Americans.
With the artwork gone, we hit the road. Hard.
Number 6. Tesla.
The thing is, though, that Tesla say it is pretty nippy. So what I've done is lined it up alongside a normal petrol-powered Elise, and now we shall see which is the fastest in a drag race.
In another sound business decision from the world's richest man, in 2008, Tesla decided to take Top Gear to court for libel after the presenters complained about the battery life in the Tesla Roadster, which was brand new at the time.
Tesla say it'll do 200 miles. We worked out that on our track it would run out after just 55 miles.
According to Tesla, none of its own tests showed the Roadster performing quite so poorly. Again, the BBC stood by its hosts and refused to apologise on the basis that Top Gear isn't really meant to be factual. That was the final straw for Elon Musk, who personally complained about the whole thing. The lawsuit, however, ended badly for Tesla, with the court siding with the BBC this time.
And I've actually enjoyed a lot of his shows, so it's not as though I just hate Top Gear or anything.
Number 5. Nursery Rhyme.
Ordinarily, I don't respond to newspaper allegations, but on this occasion, I feel I must make an exception.
Did Clarkson actually say that word on Top Gear? Well, yes and no. While the tabloid press decided ahead of the episode airing that he definitely had said a loaded racial slur, when the episode eventually did see the light of day, Clarkson mumbled over it instead, during his recital of the nursery rhyme, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Now, of course, I was well aware that in the best-known version of this rhyme, there is a racist expression that I was extremely keen to avoid.
It looked like Clarkson was mostly in the clear until further footage surfaced where he did say it. Not that he or the BBC ever wanted anybody to see this.
It did appear that I'd actually used the word I was trying to obscure. I was mortified by this, horrified. It is a word I loathe.
The entire episode does make you wonder why he courted this particular controversy to begin with. He could have just said teacher the first time. Number 4. Hammond's crash. In 2006, Richard Hammond was involved in a horror car accident while test driving a vampire dragster, which was jet-powered. He barely escaped with his life and was put into a medically induced coma, though eventually returned to full health.
It was all over quite quickly, so do it again in slow motion. You can see the moment when the tyre goes. It's still doing 288 miles an hour here.
However, some viewers complained about the treatment Hammond's accident was given on the show, including some remarks made by Clarkson and May. This time, the BBC did issue an apology. Others still didn't like that they'd made the decision to air the devastating crash at all, since it ended so badly, though Hammond presumably gave his blessing.
So here now it's still doing 230 miles an hour when it's upside down. Then it flips a bit, and then it settles down.
Number 3. Mexico. Similar to the remarks about Germany, another country the Top Gear stars decided to take some cheap shots at was Mexico.
Mexican car's just going to be a lazy, feckless, flatulent oaf that stops, leaning against a fence asleep, looking at a cactus with a blanket with a hole in the middle on as a coat.
Their comments not only played into popular stereotypes about Mexican people, but also went after Mexican food. Although making fun of any other country's food is always going to be hypocritical, coming from the British.
They can't do food, the Mexicans, can they? Because it's all like sick with cheese on it.
Mexico's UK ambassador did take a complaint all the way to the top of the BBC. Yet again, the Beeb defended them, for the most part, and car manufacturer Mastretta said that its car had gotten more popular in the wake of the press attention.
Just imagine waking up and remembering you're Mexican.
That'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant because you could just go straight back to sleep again.
Number 2. The Falklands.
However, there was a problem. Someone on an Argentinian website noticed that the car I was driving sported the number plate H982FKL.
Was that number plate a specific reference to the 1982 Falklands War, designed to get on the wrong side of Argentina? While a stunt like this would have been classic Top Gear fare, no, that wasn't the case at all. Instead, the number plate, H982FKL, on the Porsche they were driving was an unfortunate coincidence. A plate that records show had been registered to that very Porsche since the early 90s.
Nationalists, whatever, believe that the Falklands are Argentinian, they don't like the British, and they're in the hotel.
Unless the show's producers went out to buy a Porsche with an inflammatory number plate on purpose, it was definitely an accident.
Back on the move, they were now heading for the much larger town of Rio Grande, where they were told a mob in some 300 cars was waiting.
Not that the Argentinian protesters cared. The whole cast and crew eventually had to flee to Chile following the incident, and many were injured.
But after many hours of struggle, our team made it across.
Number 1. Punching the producer. The controversy that led to the departure of Clarkson, Hammond and May. In 2015, Clarkson's contract wasn't renewed by the BBC following an incident where he punched a producer for not providing hot food.
An internal BBC inquiry found Mr. Timon was subjected to an unprovoked physical and verbal attack.
For a while, Clarkson's future on the show hung in the balance, but it soon became clear that the BBC wasn't going to change its mind this time, despite consistently supporting its ratings-winning presenters in the past.
People in the hotel bar where it happened say he used foul language and told a colleague he'd have him fired in a row over food.
In response, Hammond and May quit, going on to sign a deal with Amazon to produce the Grand Tour.
The presenter called him lazy and Irish and then used an expletive.
Clarkson has profusely apologised to the individual producer for what happened since and has paid a settlement to him.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.